For something completely different, Erin Guttenplan is a Delaware native. After volunteering 5 months in Asia in 2009, Erin saw an opportunity to connect with passionate volunteers with worthwhile projects in developing countries at an affordable price. Her organization, Edge of 7, just completed its first school building project in Nepal. She's going to talk to us about that. Please welcome Erin Guttenplan.
I'm shorter than everyone.
You can pull the stand out.
Is that okay? Okay, and we'll do that. Hi everyone, my name is Erin Guttenplan and I'm the founder of Edge of 7, a nonprofit based in Delaware that connects American volunteers with service projects in developing countries. Today, I'd like to take you to a rural community in Nepal that we serve. Sher Bahadur Baram falls in the middle of 2 brothers and 2 sisters. She dreams of one day becoming a doctor. Bibash Pariyar is 8 and wants to be a pilot when he grows up. Vishnu Sarketi, a shy 10-year-old whose favorite color is red, grins sheepishly when he speaks of one day becoming a teacher. While their names may not sound like John, Megan, or Tom, their stories sound remarkably similar to those you might hear on a playground down the street. They're just kids being kids, talking about what they want to be when they grow up. But unfortunately, unlike many kids in the US, they're not always afforded the luxury of a path to their dreams. In Nepal, 1 in 5 primary school-aged children does not attend school. Less than half of those eligible continue on to a secondary education. Demographic studies have shown that school enrollment's closely linked to the household wealth and where kids live. In short, kids from poor rural areas don't always get the opportunity to go to school. They don't have a choice. Last November, I visited the Gorkha district of Nepal with a friend. I was taken to his primary school, the foundation of his educational journey. Now that he's a successful adult, running his own orphanage in the capital of Kathmandu, he understands the value of an education at his core. That day, when we arrived at the school, none of us said much. The visual was far more powerful than any words. A school that was literally collapsing, broken toilets that had been locked shut for years. As we walked away from the grounds, Kapil broke the silence by simply saying, "It's not safe to teach children there." This summer, a team of American volunteers has worked side by side Nepali villagers to build a new primary school for the children of Jurong. In 6 short weeks, we built a new campus equipped with toilets and a water supply. The first of 3 groups of volunteers arrived to the project site on May 18th. After a 12-hour journey up windy dirt mountain roads in a Jeep and then on foot, the village welcomed us with open arms, smiles, and flower necklaces. The display was overwhelming. After our humbling introduction to Jurong, we were escorted to our host families to become Nepali. Life in the village is extremely simple: board beds, showering with water from a bucket, and squat toilets, but it always amazes me how quickly it can feel like home. During the first 2-week phase, we focused on the foundation. Now, building a foundation in Nepal is a lot more manual than building a foundation in the US. We dug every trench, carried every rock, and mixed every batch of cement by hand. It's the most thankless part of the process because all of the progress happens below the surface. It reminded me a lot of starting a business. At the end of May, we welcomed our second set of volunteers into the fold, and it was wonderful to have some new arms and new legs. During phase 2, we finished the floors, we laid our first bricks, and we installed our first doors and windows. And sometime after I'd been in Jurong for about a month, I looked up and realized that we had ourselves a school that we built together. By the final volunteer arrival in mid-June, we had kicked into high gear. We leveled the old toilets and built new and improved ones. We finished the concrete ring beam up top that made the school earthquake resistant. We began plastering the walls to make it look like the type of school that every child deserves to attend. On my final day in the village, I teared up every time that I looked at what we had created. It was more than just a school. It was the signal of change in a poor village that had been overlooked. It was the investment in a generation to give them the confidence to be what they want when they grow up. It was the sense of community forged between strangers from different walks of life. In the end, I discovered that the people of Jurong gave us far more than we gave them. They taught us that happiness can be found without money, that family and friendship gives you strength, and that a community with a united goal can conquer all. I'm thrilled to be headed back to Nepal for our second building project to empower women in the Everest region on November 8th. We're about to begin recruiting volunteers and raising the $22,000 necessary to fund the project. If you're interested in more details, please reach out. Thanks.